Nerd News Cafe, Stir It Up, with Matt, Landon, and Justin.
Get ready to stir it up. It is round 28, guys. Another Thursday, another time to listen in on the craziness that we bestow.
Bestow upon
Just
you.
looking for a good word there. I like bestow. So, as always, this is Matt.
This is Justin.
And I'm Landon.
Jeez. Creative
What?
bone fried.
Yeah, y'all have worn me out. My creativity peaked with episode 27. So it's all downhill from here.
He's done, people. He is done.
You don't get this genius for free anymore.
Evidently not. It's costing soul points. Whatever that is.
I'd go for a sandwich right now. If somebody brings me a sandwich, I will start to be funny again.
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind a sandwich myself.
Jay, bring us sandwiches.
Yeah, we need sandwiches. I want that one.
Always making the sandwich runs.
That's right.
Come on, Dad, feed us.
So we are here to drop some nerd content for you, and I don't really have much to intro with, so I'm just going to move away from this and hit me with something, Justin.
Okay. Put on the spot here.
I'm trying to stay away from us having any creativity.
Stick to format. Move on.
There we go. Yeah. Snap it clear.
We will see your formats.
I feel like you just said, all right, Justin, and Justin's prepared a song. Go ahead.
2, 3, 4.
You do have the acoustic guitar not far from reach.
It is. Yeah, it's right over there. But no, I think first, before we get to my improvised song,
No.
I would.
Sing now.
I feel much more comfortable going on over to Comic Book Corner. Ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
It is another week. And this week, for once, I'm going to stick to format.
So we're doing that again. Format is
We're
cool
back
again.
to it.
All right.
It's
Cool.
back in style. Everything comes back around.
He's doing some retro podcasting right now.
If you wait long enough, I've got my bell bottoms on over here. I'm going to be, later on, I'm going
Those
to
are
put on
not
my leisure suit.
Those are dead like disco.
And I'm reading comic books, which is a pretty old school thing to do.
That is true.
Paper ones. Things you hold in your hand. Physical things, not digital editions. I mean, I know I sound like a grumpy old man right now, but these do exist, people.
Yeah, calm down, Grandpa.
I was about to say, how's your shins?
Yeah, I was going to say, don't be bagging on the digital comics too hard, because just a reminder, we do give out a free digital comic code every week if you vote, retweet, and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, and this week we're going to have a poll. The shout-out didn't go quite as well as I was hoping last week, but maybe people just need to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
We
new
got some.
concept. You know, they were like, I don't really want to take my shirt off. And I was like, I don't care.
You can lie to us. It's Twitter. Just tell us you did.
Yeah, just tell what you did. We don't care.
It's not like everybody that retweets is making some kind of commitment that they have to take their pants or shirt off. It's not a
Landon.
contract. It's not a binding contract. Landon will do it for you.
Exactly, yeah. Some of us are already there.
At request.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen.
I've got a big stack of comics, and I know, Landon,
Fat stack.
you wanted to talk about some Secret Empire today. I'm going to hit a couple of high notes, just some recommendations for the week, and then we can move on, and you can catch us up on where we are in our Secret Empire story. And we'll gather around. We'll sit Indian style on the floor. We'll
Crisscross
have
applesauce.
our juice boxes. Oh, yeah.
Because what you said was,
What I said was
very
racist.
insensitive, yeah.
That was really racially insensitive. I apologize for that. We're going to sit Redskin style on the floor.
Oh, my God.
I'm talking about potatoes, sitting like potatoes. Oh, anyway.
And of course, how do I sit like a potato? Please explain that to me. Do I just lay there and
like
look with my eyes up?
Sack of potatoes.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
Good God.
I'm having fun.
It's
insulting
been great
people.
being a podcast for this long.
Oh, is it time to talk about Song of the South again? I can bring that back up.
Oh, God. No, we already said that. We're going to get locked in the Disney vault forever if we mention it again.
Right beside Walt's head.
Oh.
All right. R.I.P. Walt.
Yeah, my face hurts.
Okay.
That's awesome.
This is something we talked about previously, and I picked it up this week. Very exciting. Edge of Venomverse number 3. And Matt, who's on the front of this?
That would be the Ghost Rider.
It is the Ghost Rider.
But the venomed out Ghost Rider.
Here's one thing I'll tell you about this particular comic. This image on the front cover is the coolest one in the whole book.
Really?
Yeah, because like the rest of the time they make him look kind of
Oh,
weird.
they did something bad with the inside of that.
Like actually, to me the art style is look at him. Look at him there. He's weird.
I don't.
Don't you love this visual piece of this podcast? Look at this, guys.
Guys? Let me give you. Let me be the eyes for you right now. They did something real bad. This I don't even know.
I'll try to describe it. It looks like it kind of looks like
what is the style? I'm trying to figure it out.
it kind of looks like Dwayne the Rock Johnson put on a Venom costume. But then he's
got hair metal hair.
He put on like hair metal blonde flame hair.
Out
and
his
he
mouth.
also has a beard. Yeah, like a long Viking blonde.
Yeah, he looks like a
flame
Norse
beard.
god with a Venom suit on.
Not nearly as cool as what they did with the
No.
front cover. I don't know why the style changed so much, but anyway,
They really cheaped out on us. I don't like this. This
They-
makes me sad. You know what this looks like? You know what the style is? It looks like the 90s X-Men cartoon style.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, it does. Kind of. I agree with that.
Kind of big veined, roided out muscles, stuff like that.
It's not, but it's very retro colored.
Are they wearing like 9,000 pouches? Because that's how you
Oh,
tell.
Oh,
yeah,
I
lots of
know. What was
pouches
that
everywhere.
about? What are we doing?
They had pouches for pouches.
Inside my pouch is another pouch. It's like some kind of Russian doll thing going on
And
there.
then one of those pouches was a kangaroo with the pouch. It's like, that's some Inception stuff right there.
Ugh, I don't like this at all.
All right, Matt's unhappy, so we're gonna move on.
Just let me
I
look
wanted
at the
to tell
cover.
you-
I don't want to look at anything
I wanted to
else.
tell you this was. I don't know if I mentioned it. It was Robbie Reyes,
Okay.
the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. That's who it is.
Robbie Reyes. Oh, is this the car guy?
Yeah, it's the car guy.
Boo.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't like that.
Matt's double sad now.
So he's super.
Boo this comic. You got it all metal up front, and then we're like, Robbie Reyes in his car.
Unfortunately,
Lame.
yeah, they peaked with the cover.
Yeah, they did.
Don't judge this. Don't judge this book by its cover.
but Marvel's telling you to buy this book by its cover.
They are. So the writer on this one was Simon Spurrier. The artist was Ty Walker, and I'm not really familiar with either one of their work, but I'll just tell you. The story's kind of fun. All of these have been kind of fun. I think the high point of this is the main
cover?
Well, the cover, but the main bad guy that the venomed out Ghost Rider, actually he calls him the Host Rider, which I think is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
It's a cool name, especially because it's playing on the symbiote being the host. Yeah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I like it.
Yep. Okay.
But
I'll allow it.
I'm just disgusted from top to bottom now.
Yeah, I'm worried about Matt. Are we going to be able to get through the rest of the show, buddy?
Oh, there's the evidence right there. So in one panel, you've got one of the freaking 90s X-Men right here in full pouched out garb,
Holding a rocket launcher.
holding a rocket launcher. Oh my god!
But what I was going to say is the main bad guy that the host rider has to
Rider.
fight.
Host.
The
is-
Twinkies host rider.
They call him Octosquatch
Octosquatch.
Pool.
It's
So-
a
Hold on. I
Go
want to
ahead.
guess. It's
Go
a
ahead.
combination of Dr. Octopus, Deadpool, and Alpha Flight member Sasquatch.
That's exactly what it is.
Nice,
Circle
landed
the
man.
square.
Bing on the board.
You nailed it.
Yep, I just proved why I should be on this podcast.
His credentials have been flashed.
He's yelling out things like, "Come taste my man hugs of doom."
Oh my god, I hate this comic. Please stop it.
See, I'm on board now.
I am not. I am less on board. This is garbage.
And he also says he got kill cuddles for you all.
Guys, if you're buying these comics, this is definitely time to hit that digital.
It still counts. All you're doing is taking money out of a local retailer.
No, buy it in the black market. Is there a pirated market for this stuff?
You can download illegally.
Yes, do
That's
that.
what you're asking.
Do that.
Well,
okay. What is this? 'Cause
All of this is.
Are we
leading
gonna
up-
Are we gonna pre-ejaculate the illustration on this one too?
I think so.
because that's what happened on this one.
Well, so all of this Edge of Venomverse stuff is leading up to the series Venomverse, which starts in September. There's 2 more Edge of Venomverse. The next one, the teaser that we have in the back of this one, it looks like
There's a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
there is a T-Rex that has the symbiote on it and Wolverine on its back is what it looks like.
I think he's flying
Huh.
at it. It looks like he's going to stick a claw in its head.
Oh, you're right. Maybe he's flying at it.
I do
Flying
see
at
what
its
you're
face.
talking about, though. As soon as you said that, I was like, "Oh, is he?" And then I was like, "No, he's
thought he
coming at
was-
his face."
yeah, I
no,
thought he
no,
was-
no. I'm with you. I
Yeah.
saw what you saw, but my first thought was like, he's sticking a claw.
Okay,
in
so
its
he
face.
is. He's flying at the T-Rex's face. Wolverine is about to try to chop up this symbiote T-Rex
It's
combination.
cool, but I feel like I've been lied to.
The cover might be the coolest part of the next one. We'll have to see.
Though, just based on what the cover is showing, I'm now curious, does that mean Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur are now part of the symbiote squad?
Could be. And they're all
You
getting,
leave Moon Girl alone.
so they're
I'm not
all
saying anything.
all of these different symbioted out characters are all encountering the same dude at the end who's pulling them, I guess, into an alternate dimension, and he looks like a symbioted Captain America. So
Okay.
So I'm not sure where it's leading to, but it's leading to somewhere, and they're all going to converge at some point.
Well, as long as
It's
they don't-
leading to a big crossover event that Marvel wants you to buy.
Exactly.
Wow.
And speaking of,
as long as they don't blow their load on the freaking cover, and we get more of whatever they're illustrating.
so speaking of events,
I saw this.
the Generations event has started.
I don't know about this.
So number one is the Totally Awesome Hulk and the Banner Hulk are having a crossover.
Yeah,
they're having a puppy.
I don't like Totally Awesome Hulk. I feel
I
like
like him. I
feel like
I
it's
like
Surfer
Cho.
Dude
I like
Hulk.
Amadeus Cho. He's cool.
Yeah,
No, I don't like
Amadeus
him as the
Cho.
Hulk.
It's
I don't-
a different take on
Oh.
the Hulk. I
I
like
don't.
it.
I don't
You don't
like
like
the way
his
he
faux hawk
looks.
kinda
I don't
look?
know about the character in general. I don't like the way he looks.
I like that he has pants that are designed to not rip every time he transforms. I think that's pretty
That's
cool.
the whole purpose.
He's a smart dude. Amadeus
Yep.
Cho is not only the strongest one, he's like one of the smart dudes. So but Banner was a scientist.
True.
So anyway, essentially what happens in this one is Totally Awesome Hulk gets flooped into Banner Hulk universe, and he's very surprised to see him, as you might imagine, because Banner Hulk is supposed to be dead.
He's supposed to be dead.
So
Supposed to be.
so they're trying to figure out what's going. Well, Cho is trying to figure out what's going on. Banner Hulk is like, who is this dude that looks like me?
Yeah.
And they have just hilarious adventures together.
I can see that.
Just hilarious. There's a lot of hulking out. There's a lot of Hulk smashing. Cho is trying to basically tell him, you can control this. Banner's like, no, you can't. You're a prison guard. It's not something you can control and use. You have to keep people safe from it. And really, at the end, just based on the events that happened, Cho kind of accepts that this is not a blessing. It's a little more of a curse. And that's when he gets flooped out. So
Weird.
so it's kind of like a learning experience, kind of a journey for Amadeus Cho. And it's the next one is going to be, so if you want to continue that story, the next one's Return to Planet Hulk, Incredible Hulk number 709 coming out in September. But the Next Generations one, I think, is going to be Hawkeye. So,
Oh,
So
dude.
it's going to be Clint Barton and Kate Bishop. All right.
yes.
I might actually check that out because
You should.
here recently, it's like after Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, I really feel like writers have found a new voice, a good voice for Hawkeye. And Kate Bishop is, I'll put her up there with Kamala Khan and Miles Morales as these new characters that Marvel is making that I'm a really big fan of. So
She looks
I might
cool.
give that a shot. Funds providing.
Exactly.
He's got a cooler costume than Hawkeye.
These events are they can really drain the bank account because they don't come out once a month. Like these Generation comics are coming out every week. There's going to be 10 of them. And from what I was told by Richard down at, by the way, Nirvana Comics Knoxville, he changed the name. It's not Nerdvana anymore. So
It's a Nirvana.
Nirvana Comics Knoxville. He did. He changed it up on us. That's all
Okay.
right. So,
He flipped the script. Way to go, Richard.
Nice.
he convinced me I really need to get into this because basically, just as DC Rebirth kind of reset the table for DC and where they're headed, that's what Generations is doing for the Marvel Universe. So if you're interested in that, he said you really need to get in on this, and then it's all going to lead up to what's coming next for Marvel. So might be a good time to jump in.
Maybe.
I'm looking at you, Andrew. Get in on this.
That's right. Where
Yeah,
you at, Andrew?
Come on, Andrew. Get out there. Buy you some more comics. Yeah. And then the last one I wanted to mention, just really quickly, was Thanos number 9, because it left off for me in a pretty exciting place where Thanos was meeting with these 3 witches to try to get inside of a black hole at it's like the quarry of dead gods. he's trying to get his powers back because he has no powers and he's dying, and he needs to go fight Thane, who has the Phoenix Force and is destroying the universe.
And the stroke continues.
Yeah. He's flying around with Lady Death, and they're just destroying everything. And their next stop is supposed to be Earth, and she wants to claim all those souls. And so Thanos is going to be our anti-hero once, if he can manage to get his powers back. But the first thing that he has to do is that he has to face a trial within this quarry of dead deities. I can't remember exactly what they call it. And if he doesn't pass, he's going to be stuck in the quarry forever, along with all of the other former gods. But if he does pass, he'll get his powers back and he can go face Thane. Of course, we know that's going to happen. Come on. What are they going to do? I mean, I guess they could potentially just get him stuck down there. Thane destroys the universe and it's all done. But I think that's not what's going to happen.
Yeah, I really would have felt like they would have wrote themselves into a corner at that point if the entire universe gets destroyed.
The other interesting thing that happens in this episode is, Blue Blanca and Nebula were
I like the way we've renamed this character.
He's Blue Blanca.
Blue Blanca and,
Forever.
and Nebula were hanging out in the car waiting on they were waiting on Star Fox and Thanos to come back, and they've been waiting apparently a really long time. So how do they decide to pass the time? They get it on.
Yeah.
They get it on.
Well, we know one part of Blue Blanca that isn't blue anymore. Talking about sex.
There we go.
For all you dullards out there.
Just making sure we're all on the same page, talking about doing it.
The funny thing about this is it caught me as off guard as it did apparently Blue Blanca, because he's sitting there going, I'm just bored. What are we going to do? Well, we're just sitting here out in space. I'm the champion of the universe. I'm supposed to go do something. And she's like, well, there's one thing we could do. And she just starts getting naked in the ship. No pants pole. No shirt shout outs. And he's like, oh. And I was like, yeah, I didn't see that coming either, man. Me and you both. So.
He did. Do you think she's doing, like, she's trying to maybe have some offspring or something for
I don't know what she's doing.
Blue Blanca? She's like,
she's probably just bored.
Well,
I imagine she's like half cybernetic. Who knows if she can even have such a offspring.
Hey, don't count her out. I'm just saying, there's going to be more Street Fighter games. You're going to need that Blanca character. So you might as well continue that legacy.
Blanca Generations. We
Blanca
can get
Generations.
Yellow Blanca and Red Blanca.
Don't say that too loud. Capcom really might do that. Be like, we've introduced 75 new characters. Only 60 of them are palette swaps.
We've even got different colors.
You like Blanca? We'll check him out when he's a darker shader green.
Did we say green? Oh, yeah, we got 5 more colors of green. We just discovered the color wheel.
Here's Schmurple.
Schmurple.
What color is that? Only Capcom knows. Find out next on Street Fighter 6. What is going on?
If you want a cannon mauve, you got it.
What is in these Sprite Zeros? Maybe I need to drink more of them.
Absolutely.
So. Keep that going.
You were blowing up on the ideas.
Well, while Landon's on fire here, I think I should hand off the torch. Let's talk a little Secret Empire.
Yes, nice handoff. I'm bringing not 1, not 3, but 2, count them, 2 issues to talk about when it comes to Secret Empire. When we last talked in 5, I even asked the question, how can Captain America's Avengers still side with him? And I made reference that one of these characters starts to kind of question that himself in Thor. And in this issue, it's continued on as Cap's Avengers are descending upon the Resistance, who are holed up in a fortress type thing in Nevada, and they're worried because the Avengers are coming at them on all sides. Thor's trying to get in. They have Vision trying to hack Stark's tech to get that stuff down. Then you have the Scarlet Witch, who's using her magic to try and get in. And somebody asked Tony Stark, who is an AI. Remember, Tony Stark is a computer at this point because comic books. They ask him, it's like, can they get in? Stark goes, no. As strong as he is, Thor can't even break through this wall. I already have tech that'll counter the Vision. And Damian Hellstrom is part of the Resistance, and he has countered Scarlet Witch. Cut back to Evil Cap, or Stevel, as we like to call him here, and he's talking to somebody. And if you remember, at the end of issue 5, there's a big reveal of him talking to somebody, somebody that we already said on this podcast that should be dead. He was talking to Bruce Banner.
What?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, Bruce Banner.
So apparently we get a Bruce Banner appearance as well as a Little John appearance on this fine podcast. So Cap is talking to Bruce. He's like, "You were right, Bruce. Our hubris is what's going to kill us. These people think that they're judge and jury when they haven't even been tried for their own sins. And I'm giving you the chance to avenge your own death." And Bruce is like, "Yeah, that all sounds well and good, but I'm kind of confused. You're a fascist Nazi when you're supposed to be Captain America, and you're pointing me to go fight these people. I'm cool. I really don't want to do that." So Cap is like, "Well, that's disappointing, Bruce, ... but I wasn't talking to you." So jump cut back into the Resistance fortress. Tony Stark is like, "Yeah, we're cool." And somebody's like, "Look at the screen. You see a Hulk shadow start to slowly emerge towards this fortress." And Tony Stark is like, "Everybody into position." So there's now a Hydra Hulk.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so Hulk is doing Hulk things in this fortress, completely wrecking face. And it looks like Hawkeye, because if you remember in Civil War II, Hawkeye was the guy that put down Bruce Banner with a gamma-infused arrow right to the eye, at Bruce's request, by the way.
Yep.
But Hawkeye looks like he's ready to give up. He's ready to accept his fate, and he talks. It's like, "We deserve this," and Mockingbird is like, "Yeah, we might, but what about these people that we're protecting?" And Hawkeye is boom right back at it, and he comes face to face with Thor trying to lead people out, and it looks like Hawkeye is about to get his stuff squashed when Thor just says, "Go, get them out." So it seems like Thor is starting to have almost a crisis of conscience, because he realizes, even though he's following what he thinks is a just man in Captain America, he realizes what he's doing is wrong.
Wow. So
I like that. I am curious to see when, I don't think it's going to be when Thor is going to break rank with the evil Avengers. So they wipe out pretty much everybody in the Resistance. Hawkeye and Mockingbird are able to get some people out, but Iron Man goes toe-to-toe with Stevel, and Stevel whips his ass. And remember, Tony Stark is a computer because comic books. And like, Steve is getting ready to end Tony. Like, delete him, I guess, since he's a computer term, and I'm a big Matt Hardy fan. Delete. But so Cap is getting ready to kill him, and Tony goes off on this big, like, "Look, Steve, I'm sorry. I don't know if you're in there, but you're still my hero. I went on all of this, blah, 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 blah." He's trying to stall him because in his Iron Man suit is a nuke.
Oh, dear Lord.
Yeah, so Iron Man goes with the nuclear route and blows up that base, and what else was left in it. At the very last minute, Madam Hydra is able to teleport Stevel out of there. So it looks like Madam Hydra has sacrificed her life for Stevel. So Stevel in issue 7 is pissed, obviously, because his plan did not go as he thought it was going to be, and plus Madam Hydra is dead. Oh, I will say there was revealed to be a traitor in the midst of the Resistance. I'm not going to tell you who. I don't want to give everything away in these reviews. I want to give you a little something to read. And then in issue 7, Steve's pissed, and he is going to make a speech at the front or at the stairs of the U.S. Capitol. And if you remember in Civil War II, one of the big linchpins of that was the vision that everybody saw of Miles Morales Spider-Man holding the bloodied dead body of Captain America at the stairs of the Capitol. So everybody's thinking, or at least the people in the book, that this is where this vision is going to go down. So to prevent that, Red Widow in the Red Room, I guess part of the faction of the Resistance is Black Widow leading Miles Morales, Ironheart, the New Wasp, and Vision. She's training them to kill Captain America. That is, in their mind, the only way that any of this can end. So Black Widow realizes Miles Morales, he isn't a killer. He's not a murderer. So she pretty much takes him out of the equation and is going to try and, do this on her own, like without getting Spider-Man's hands dirty, so to speak. So she locks him away for part of this issue. And then there's fighting. The Red Room tries to make the move on Hydra. They do some damage. They're able to get Hydra agents to turn on each other, so they're able to not just be severely outnumbered when it comes to having to take on an army. So Spider-Man figures a way to get out of lockup, and he goes right to the stairs of the Capitol to meet Captain America. And everybody's like, "Well, we know how this ends." And Captain asks, like, "So do you want to do this?" He's like. And Miles goes, "I don't know, but I think he said something like when a god shows you a vision, it's kind of hard to disagree with it." So Black Widow sees all this go down. She rushes in to stop it, to like save Miles. While doing so, she takes the edge of Cap's sword to the neck.
Oh,
Black Widow's dead.
Oh, dang.
They killed Black Widow in issue 7 of Secret Empire. That was a big, like, oh my God moment. Because, I mean, I guess in a story like this, not everybody gets out alive, but it's kind of surprising to see somebody like a character of Black Widow's stature be taken down like this. But at the same time, it does give you, I guess it gives the remaining issues that much more credence, because if a character like Black Widow isn't safe, I guess that means nobody is safe. So everybody seems defeated. Like, everybody's looking to everybody else. Like, the news gets back to the remaining resistance about what happened to Black Widow. So at one point somebody asked, "So this is it. This is how we lose, right?" And then somebody says, "No, we need somebody to rally behind. We need an icon. We need a hero right now." You see somebody pick up the Captain America old school shield, the circle one, the shield of our Cap, not Steve-O, and Sam Wilson, the Falcon, is once again picking up the shield, as he's going to be the Captain America this country needs. And that is how issue 7 of Secret Empire ends.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm a little shocked right now.
A lot to take in.
Trying to take all that in. I feel you're right. They definitely have no problem, taking big leaps and taking big swings with this story. I wonder, because I was talking about how Secret Empire is overlapping with some of the books that I've been following, like X-Men Blue and Gold and some of the other things, and it's interesting because they definitely reference all of, like, the books that I've read where there has been the overlap, that those things are happening in the universes that I'm reading about. And so I started thinking, while we're talking about this, I started thinking back to Generations. I mean, it almost seems like there's going to be some sort of a, I don't know if it's going to be like a paradox kind of thing or what's going to happen, but it really is like at some point they're going to have to reset the table, because they're kind of tearing down everything that was with this Secret Empire story.
They really are, and it's like I will agree with part of what you said, especially with the cosmic cube being so prevalent in this story. Part of Captain America's attack on the Resistance base was trying to get the cosmic shards that Tony and his team have been able to recover, because they're trying to build the whole cosmic cube so they can rewrite whatever history they want. So I do think at the end there's going to be some sort of like almost reset on the norm, because right now Marvel is operating in a world where their most upstanding, iconic, like right through and through character is a Nazi. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna have to change some stuff.
Yeah, how do you bounce back?
A Nazi Captain America.
Oh yeah. I mean, they got to think about, what's the turn here? And that's when they pick up the phone and they call M. Night Shyamalan.
Though I will say, if Captain America starts talking about building a wall, I think I'm going to tap on Secret Empire.
Oh, Lord.
So thanks for catching us up on As the Shield Turns. I mean, it's great. It really does feel like it's it's very soap opera, kind of thematic. Like, it just feels there's so much drama, and it doesn't even like they're very heavy, I guess is what I'm saying. This Secret Empire story is very heavy.
lot of action, a lot of betrayals, a lot of turns. Soap opera is a good way to describe it.
Doom and gloom kind of thing. It doesn't feel like things are going to turn out very good for anybody after this.
Yeah, it definitely almost has kind of a Game of Thrones feel where nobody is going to win, even the winners.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, excited to see where it goes from here.
As am I, but I am going to be honest. I'm starting to like, and the girlfriend even asked when I went to go pick up the newest issue. She's like, that's still going on. So I'm like, even though I'm enjoying it and I've read every issue, I'm starting to get to the point. It's like, okay, come on, let's see where this goes. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I think they will be soon. It kind of sounds like things are reaching a fever pitch anyway. So there's probably just a few left here, and they're going to round out this story because maybe it'll fall in line with, as we're saying, the generation storyline and everything. So maybe you're looking at like mid-September or something. They'll be done with this, or even early September.
If I remember correctly, I think this is supposed to be a run through issue number 10. So I guess it would be an 11 run issue, as we so famously know on this podcast. It started with 0, but I do think we are a couple months away. But I like you said, it's reaching a fever pitch. I mean, where do you go after you kill the Black Widow? After Stevel says he's declaring war on America, and after Falcon picks the mantle back up. It's like, I mean, obviously, like, there's still that whole aspect of what's going on in space, because they do mention that we see a mention of Captain Marvel with her band still stuck out of Earth's airspace with zero support galactically. So there's still that storyline to wrap up, but at the same time, it's like stuff is coming to a head on Earth.
Let me ask you this: have they ever referenced? This was something that I saw in the X-Men Blue series. Have they referenced California being like segregated off from the rest of the country, and that's where like supposedly mutants and humans are living together in harmony and they're safe there? Have they referenced that at all?
If they have, it's been in passing. Okay. I don't remember them a panel where it blatantly says, come to California, mutants and humans living in harmony or whatever. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
That's part of the X-Men Blue story, and they say it's as a result of what's happening with Secret Empire is that humans, basically mutants weren't safe living in the country anymore, but they have this. I don't know if it's split off from the country entirely, but it's definitely supposed to be like a safe place. And then they're throwing mutants in like Alcatraz.
Mm-hmm. Well, I do think I remember there being a scene of Stevel and Hank McCoy where Stevel says they're letting the mutants do them as long as they stay out of the way. So maybe that's what they're referencing. I don't know though.
Yeah, maybe so. Okay, just wondering. All right, well, I think we're all on the edge of our seats to find out where it goes.
I mean, it's a compelling story.
It very much so. Definitely interested to see where the storyline wraps up, but and to see what all comes out of this, unless there is just some massive continuity reset where everybody pretends Secret Empire didn't happen. I'm curious to see where that goes. But like I said, it's like I'm starting to get that event fatigue. It's like, okay, guys, come on, let's wrap this son of a bitch up. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Well, Matt, going from one thing that we're feeling frustrated about, complaining about, not really complaining, but just like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? I have a question.
Okay.
Will Sharknado ever end?
I did some research on this, being my premium roast, and I'm gonna end on a high note, unrelated to this subject. I'm gonna steal some hot and streamy juice.
Go for it. It's freely available.
Oh, yes, it is. So this, I don't know if you guys have seen anything on Sharknado 5. I don't know if you guys are even aware of Sharknado 5. But Sci-Fi has, without fail, made sure that you have the Sharknado sequels that you need. You crave and you absolutely regurgitate the trash camp that this is.
The world needs it. It really does.
It is such garbage. Don't get me wrong. The first one, hilarious. The second one, okay, you made a sequel to a funny, stupid movie.
Mm-hmm.
The third one, I don't even know what I was watching. And then they came out with a fourth one, and I'm like, what am I doing? Which I slept through most of it. My son wanted to watch it, and he's like, can we stop watching this? And I had already fallen asleep at this point, and he's like, I was like, you could have stopped watching this before I hit play. And he's like, I don't really like it. I was like, no one likes this. And now we got 5. Mm-hmm. And I think the only thing we can take away from these movies is, well, one, the reigning stars in it, how long can they do this? Because I think death is coming their way at some point. Not in the movies, like
Just
literally.
in general?
Yeah, because I think Tara Reid is slowly dying. Like her face is more gaunt. And the last one, like she was like Skeletor with some like fake hair. And then, I mean, in this one, she looks really, really bad. And they can't be paying her a lot, so I know this plastic surgery's not going well.
Well, I guess my question is, what else is Tara Reid doing?
Not eating, obviously, is not in those things she's doing.
Oh,
It's bad. She looks so bad. I mean, she looked bad before, but now we have really went down a hole for her, and it just looks so terrible. I'm trying to think of the other guy's name in there because he's making.
Or is it Ian Ziering?
Yeah, Ian Ziering.
Ian Ziering, yeah.
It doesn't matter. Terribleness. He is going to die in this genre. You know, he's like, I'm making Sharknado 27. Here I come. I did look up the numbers on this, and I only went through a couple movies before I realized they are losing money on these. I mean, in production, because their budgets are, the first one was $2 million. They made over that in DVD sales.
Yeah.
DVD, Blu-ray. The next one was about the same budget, and they didn't even make $500,000 in DVD sales.
wow.
So I don't know why we're doing this. I've read a couple articles, and the best thing people can surmise is that this falls into the category with like Expendables and Piranha and those type of movies where it's so bad it's good, which I disagree with the good. These movies are so terrible. And it's like we've got our tropes in here. I feel like they're trying to capture the Evil Dead cult following kind of thing. And we've got the chainsaw. We're chainsawing sharks.
It is that.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's I want to get a cult following. I want these people to buy our...
And they definitely lean into camp
They do.
for all of it.
Oh, yes.
One of the
yes.
things that I think a Collider article mentioned is that their merchandising is pretty high.
Okay.
So
Merchandising?
Really?
Really?
People want that funny camp shirt. I'm wearing a Sharknado shirt, or I have a mug with a chainsaw that has stuck in a shark that I'm drinking out of at the office because I'm funny. I'm that guy. No, you're not. You're a terrible person, and we don't talk. You know who you are, Randy.
Oh, burn Randy.
But no, I mean, and that's probably where, you know, you can get those gifts of giving with their merchandise. It's probably what's making the budget. But sci-fi, let's face it, for everything they do right, they do a lot of wrong.
Yes, they do.
And you know what I'm talking about. Anaconda versus giant tarantula. I mean, crocodile.
Heck, just look at their name.
Oh, yeah.
SYFY.
Yeah, Sifi.
Yeah.
But they do some weird stuff, and they put a lot of money in it. The production company on this movie is The Asylum, and The Asylum is known for their camp movies. They make mockbusters.
Okay.
That's their
their thing. Okay.
You know, and air quotes. So I don't know. I think it's garbage.
I just saw the full name of this is Sharknado 5: Global Swarming.
Global swarming. Yeah. And I want you to know in 4 they did have a Sharknado in space. So just remember that they are getting on the brink of, like, they're going to have to start exploring like dimensional things. I mean, this is Landon, I'm going to throw some salt in your game and say they're probably going to be exploring things we see on Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I had no idea Sharknado made it to space in 4. Hell, it took Jason and Friday the 13th 10 movies to get to space.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was boxing people on rooftops for a very long time before he ever got his flight suit. So this is just terrible, and they try every trope. They've from what I understand, this is kind of like a human centipede cult following in the sense that like A-listers want to be in these movies for the ironic part of being in these movies. I just don't get it.
Do you want me to tell you the big tragedy about this movie?
That it was made?
No, well, this is going to really break your heart. According to a report from THR, and I don't know, the Hollywood Reporter, I guess is what
There
that
you
is.
go.
Hollywood
Nice.
Reporter, yeah.
Ziering earned $500,000 for his turn as Finn in Sharknado 5.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how much Gal Gadot made for being Wonder Woman?
I'm going to say $450.
$300,000.
Jesus.
Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, wait a minute.
Seriously.
Wasn't there a report that came out that she took a little less to get things going?
Apparently, this was a deal she struck with Warner Brothers to be part of the DCEU. She earns a base pay of $300,000 per picture for her first 3 appearances, which were BVS, Wonder Woman, and Justice League.
Holy.
Isn't,
Oh my god!
Isn't
She's
that
getting
depressing?
Ripped off.
Isn't that depressing?
That's terrible.
I don't want to say Justice League now. What the?
She does get bonuses based on box office pool, but that's her base pay.
Well, now, I have heard, I'll have to find the article, but a lot of these actors and stuff are going the base pay, and then they get the residuals from box office, which means the bigger it is, the more money they get on the backside of this deal.
and that's true. But
I feel like that's a better deal, though.
yeah,
To me, it is. Don't get me wrong, that base pay is filth.
That's garbage.
That's filth. I mean, a meal is what they should have gave her for this
At
thing.
least.
At least. And the only reason I say a meal is because that sounds like a good base pay if you're getting bonkers money on the back end.
That movie has made almost $800 million.
Well,
know?
here's the thing, and then we get into merchandising. Does she get any of that money?
Yeah, that's a
Does
good
she get?
question,
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, we're outraged over the base pay, but it may just be like the base pay becomes the bonus because you're making so much on the back end.
Yeah.
I would love
Yeah,
to,
that's very true.
I would love to hear that she's like, oh, I took that deal because it made, what'd you say, 800 million,
Almost $800 million.
$800 million. So she got, we'll say, God, what is 1% of that?
1% would be $8 million.
So she got
Yeah.
8 million. 1% of box office, and I would feel really good about that. And then merchandising, God knows how much.
But compare that to, if that's her deal, Henry Cavill made $14 million for Man of Steel.
He got $14 million for that.
yeah, Man of Steel makes sense though because that was the first iteration. What did he get in BVS?
I don't know. This is just so that came
So that's
from an
that's-
earlier report
okay.
because people were upset comparing her base pay to what Cavill made for Man of Steel. I guess it's like the first one that he was in versus the first one she was in.
Okay, I see the comparative. Yeah.
And she was so I totally like BVS. I kind of get a little bit because she wasn't a headliner. No one even
No.
knew she was in it. Well, they showed it in the preview.
They show the previews. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
You didn't
more
know what you were
about
getting.
Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
And her role wasn't huge, but it was great. She's the headliner in Wonder Woman.
She is the star of
She
Wonder
is
Woman.
Wonder
Wait. What did Chris Pine get?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's what I want to know. If Chris Pine got a ridiculous sum, then yeah, there is some upset scales. I mean, they're already saying there is, but
Yeah, my girlfriend overheard us, and she walked in here saying equal pay for all Hollywood actors.
well, yeah, I mean, you should. You should be paid what they're making, what you're producing.
I agree.
But $500,000 is really nothing in Hollywood, I would imagine.
Especially for a movie that made $800 million. I mean, the fact that this movie is even like within the conversation of making $1 billion, and she got what, $350,000 for it.
But on the front end.
300, yeah, just 300.
That's what I'm saying. I want to
It does
emphasize
say
this on the front end.
So here's another article for Vulture, and it points out 300,000 is what Chris Evans made for Captain America: The First Avenger. And it said that like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth had similar deals to begin with for base pay.
Right.
So I guess it really matters more about what she
What's
got
the contract
on the
you
back
want?
end.
I'm not going to lie. In my job, I would love to get a base pay and 1% of everything I do.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
So-
I mean,
But still, when you look at it on paper, especially comparing it
No. Yeah, apples to apple.
Ian
Yeah.
Ziering making $500,000 just
For
right
a
out the door for
trash
Sharknado
movie,
5,
yeah.
which isn't
For
going to make
garbage.
Shark. It's
oh
not
my
going to make
God,
$500,000
for a toilet bowl of freaking
So.
content.
Anyway,
So
sorry to derail that.
No. That's a reasonable thing. So just understand when you're watching this freaking garbage fest of filth, and you're like, what am I watching? Why is this happening? They paid that man $500,000 to be a bad actor. They paid him $500,000 to be
I would
a
take it.
terrible actor.
Yes.
Oh,
All day.
absolutely.
All day, every day.
I will go out there and do the best impression of something I don't understand. I would love to know what Tara Reid gets, because obviously she is pissing it away.
Yeah.
I mean, she is.
She's not making any American Pie money on that one.
Oh, or Van Wilder money.
Van Wilder.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's another franchise that kind of kicked her to the curb.
Yeah, well, they kind of left Ryan Reynolds on the curb too.
No, Ryan Reynolds left them on the curb. He's
Good
like,
for
I am
Ryan.
not coming back for this.
He's
I'm
like,
a legit Hollywood actor now.
He's like, I did all the jokes. I'm gone.
Yep.
But Harold and Kumar did not. So I don't know. The Sharknadoes need to stop. They just. I understand the funniness was there. We have gotten to just plain boring. They're stupid, you know. There's nothing about it. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's like, no, they're the greatest thing ever. Of course they are to you. Whatever you're watching today, which I'm willing to bet involves a giant scorpion or other such insect that is huge. So
That is a whole genre.
it's a whole genre, because guess who plays that on TV? Sci-fi. Sci-fi.
Yeah, I was going to say SYFY.
Sci-fi plays some real trash movies, and they're their original movies, but there is nothing compared to what this is offering. And like I said, there are A-listers wanting to be in here. I'm looking at some screenshots at some of the stuff that's in here, and it's just stupid. It's just stupid.
The current president of the United States wanted to play the president in Sharknado.
He got rejected.
what-
I just want you to know how embarrassing that is for him. They said no, thank you.
Did he really? He wanted to
Yeah.
be the
That
president
is
of
the
Sharknado?
rumor that they're spreading.
And it came out this week. One of the producers mentioned when they replaced, or when they cast the president as Mark Cuban, apparently Trump's people were pissed and threatened to sue to make the movie not come out.
Wow.
I want you to know that the subtitle on this
Yeah.
is "Make America Bait Again."
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
we're so making America great again, guys.
Did you see her? Did you not see the Crypt Keeper? I'm showing Justin this quick 15-second preview they have for
this little-
Sharknado 5.
little teaser.
And the Crypt Keeper I'm referring to is Tara Reid. But
at this point, when you're hearing this, it's Thursday, but I'm sure that Sci-Fi is still playing the crap out of this. I was just looking at the schedule for Sunday, and it's playing like 6 times today.
of course.
Well, of course,
Of course. Please watch this. We will die.
They got to get their money's worth. They don't have to put it on any other programming.
And you know what? The
It's
sales.
exactly.
It's
They-
not Shark Week, it's Sharknado Week.
It's not like they're making any sales on it either. You know what I mean? I mean,
I just wonder, like, do you think people are clamoring to buy ad space during Sharknado 5? Like, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe when the Sharknado stuff first started, because I had friends who had viewing parties for the sequel when it came out, but at the same time, I mean, like, what'd you say? The first one made $2 million,
Over
and then
$2
the second
million.
one made what,
500,000.
500,000?
Well, it was like 485, I think,
Yeah.
were the DVD Blu-ray sales, and I didn't even check 3 because I can only imagine it probably keeps bottoming out.
I
So
mean,
they're,
the
they're
fact
losing
that they're-
money.
Yeah, the fact that they're on the 5th iteration of this, and the second one made what, a quarter of your budget? Like, this just doesn't make business sense. And I mean, just based on everything I see online, when the first one came out, everybody's like, "Oh, ha 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 ha! This is fun. This is stupid." I don't even see that reaction online anymore.
No,
It's like, oh,
it's eye
okay,
rolls.
just another Sharknado movie. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, and the only thing I can think of is probably your favorite thing. The Nielsen ratings are probably pretty high for the watches on this.
Yeah,
So-
I would be curious to see if it is getting good numbers where it can justify a 5th iteration. I mean, obviously it's doing something right that it can justify going this long in Sci-Fi's mind, but it's just like I said, compared to the reaction that we got when it first came out or when the second one came out, I mean, there was like everybody was really leaning into the camp. Now everybody just kind of feels over it.
We got it. We
Well,
get it.
They probably look at Tara Reid and they feel sorry for themselves.
Well, it's, I think it's just one of those. It's one of those things where it's okay. It was fun. Let's move on.
yeah,
You know?
Exactly.
Let's kill this. Literally.
I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes ratings really quick. So Sharknado 1 actually critically
People thought it was hilarious.
82%.
It was campy.
Critically,
It was funny.
Sharknado 2 got a 61. 3 isn't listed, but
There's
at
a
least at
reason.
what I'm looking at.
Once you hit
But-
negatives, they take you off.
But Sharknado: The Fourth Awakens, I didn't realize it was called that.
yeah.
God.
It was 17%. So I can't, and 5's not on here yet, but
didn't seem good.
Wait.
so anyway,
So what's going to have a higher Rotten Tomato rating after tonight? The Emoji Movie or Sharknado 5?
Ooh, that'll be a race to the finish line.
Yeah, there you go, guys.
A race to the bottom, everybody.
That's right. How far can we fall? Look at me, no shoot. So to step away from this hot garbage and into what I said I would end on a positive note is I'm going to steal this hot and streamy, and I'm going to say that I don't have a PlayStation. We all know this.
Wah, wah, wah.
But
Cue the sad trombone.
PSN, I guess it's on PSN. I'm not familiar with PSN. So PS4, you can get a game that went into beta, open beta, which is called Dreadnought. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Dreadnought or ever seen it. It looks fantastic. It is big ship battles on different maps. And I'm talking like gigantic, nasty-looking ships, with lasers and rockets. And, I mean, it is probably one of the coolest space battle-looking games I have seen in a while. I've watched some gameplay on it. You've basically got your own armada, and you go and attack someone else's armada. And, you have fast ships, bigger guns, smaller guns. You've got the array of ships that you build your armada out of, and then you try to take down somebody else's armada. And, I mean, it looks awesome. And, it's kind of like, from what I could tell from the gameplay, it's like if you're in a little ship and you get, blown out of the freaking universe, you get to come back as whatever you've got, in the pocket there is part of your armada. I don't think you can take all of your ships in. I think you can only bring in so many at a time. But basically, you kind of warp into the action, and you're back in it trying to take them down. So it looks really cool, man. If you guys are into like big star battles and you want to fly some ships and blow some other people, it's kind of like space naval warfare, more or less. If you're into that kind of thing, I definitely check it out. Like I said, it's open beta. I'm not really sure what it would be at this time Thursday, but it looks a lot of fun. I really like it.
I'll have to give it a shot, and especially, I mean, you got to like that price point at free to just try something out.
There you go. And it looks like you can get together with some friends. So, I don't know how many they'll let in, but it does prompt team warfare. So it sounds like you and your buddies can get in there and try to take down some people.
Very cool. I'll have to give it a shot.
So they call it a flight simulator. It's interesting, like... the first previews for this, by the way, started in 2014.
Mm-hmm. They've been working on it for a while.
Yeah, so they mentioned it a long time ago. But I wonder how comparable the gameplay is going to be to something like EVE Online that people are still playing it a lot.
Yeah,
from what I've seen, if you guys have played Star Trek Online, the ship battles in it kind of looks comparable to that, but it has more of a HUD system that seems a lot more fluid to what's happening in the action.
Okay,
So
you can fly first person?
I don't know if it's first person. You can't in Star Trek. You're third person in Star Trek.
Third person. Okay.
Yeah, third person. At least that's what I've seen. There may be some first person ships, but these look like ships with like lots of guns, and you need to be aware of everything around you. So
yeah, okay.
But I've seen some people hiding around like they were in a big like Avatar, the floating island mountain thing or whatever. It kind of looked like one of those maps, and this little ship, he was hiding from a dreadnought ship that was just launching rockets and lasers and everything. I mean, just really laying into the ship, and he's like, I'm going to go behind this mountain and kind of peekaboo and shoot, and kind of, this guy had some tactics, so.
Yeah, it's saying like in multiplayer, coordinated attacks are really important. Other players can heal damaged teammates. Matches last around 10 minutes. Players may switch ship classes after death. So, okay. So
it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like something it's another one of those you could probably jump into it for a little while, and then, hey guys, I got to go to the grocery store. Go.
Yeah, dropping off.
Yeah.
Well, and especially when Jay mentioned what games run generally 10 minutes, and it almost sounds like you can heal, you can repair. It almost sounds like there's some class-based stuff to it.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says you can choose from kind of a variety of ships. They have different strengths and weaknesses and different abilities, and it even says that as the captain of your ship, you might have to divert power to different parts of the ship depending on what you want to do. And
that's Star Trek Online's a lot like that. Like
cool.
if you're getting hammered, you got to push everything into shields and stop firing.
Yeah. Yeah, so
it sounds fun, man. It's another reason for me to want to own a PlayStation. I'm not there yet, but it's definitely an urge.
You're feeling
Just
the
do
urge.
it. Just do it.
There was another one, kind of a slight mention. I've been playing Killing Floor 2 with my buddy Greg. That game is hilarious. It's just a zombie massacre. It's
Yeah,
another one.
that's what Killing Floor is.
Yeah, you just pick it up. It's got some funny characters to pick from. A lot of gun upgrades. Lots of classes. Some of the classes are really fun. And you're just laying it. It's just survival mode most of the time. So lots of maps. They did a really good job with maps and how it's built. So if you like, you just waylaying zombies with a variety of guns. I'm talking everything from an 1898 pistol to like a rail gun. So there are some really entertaining. I think you can take a shovel and beat the crap out of them too, but you're not going to last very much because they will hoard you. So
anytime a railgun is introduced, it's always going to be fun.
It's fun, but man, reloading that thing every time while you're running your life away, it's not much fun because I would say it's probably a mix between a Black Ops zombie romp and they put in a lot of elements like from Left 4 Dead. So there's a lot of specials in there, and once you've beaten so many rounds, you get a boss, and this boss is pretty nasty.
Almost sounds like it's borrowing some stuff from Gears of War Horde mode.
Yeah, that's another comparable. Yeah, definitely that where you're just surviving, and then you got to take down the big guy.
Like we were mentioned before we started.
It is not free.
yeah, not free. That's careful to point out. Have not played the sequel, but did enjoy the little bit of time I played of the original on Steam. So I might have to check that out.
That's cool. That is my recommends for both of those for a system I don't know. So it brings us into the debate, and we are on pins and needles to see what Justin has come up with. As he's the only one with an idea today.
I got a good one.
Yep.
I know I'm putting you on the spot a bit, but I think we can handle it.
That's okay.
So, all right. So there was an article on IGN.com, August 1st, 17 movies that mixed live action and 2D animation. And reading back through the list, there were some that I was not aware of, but it was a nice little throwback. It made me very nostalgic to a lot of games that I really enjoyed back in those days. Some things come to mind. I actually mentioned Space Jam earlier, and I was inspired because I thought, this article made me think about it. But also other things like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Last Action Hero had slipped my mind. But there's a animated character.
There? Oh, there is. It's in the police station.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So it lists that on here, and then the three caballeros.
See this?
Caballeros. Three caballeros.
I'm just a couple steps ahead of you in the death line, but oh wow, there's a Song of the South.
Yeah, it was. Mary Poppins.
But I do recognize Mr. Limpet used to be one of my favorites when I was a kid, and I wasn't big on that one, but definitely the other one was Pete's Dragon. I watched both of those, so. When Roger Rabbit came out and they go, oh, this is they've never done this before. And I was, even as a kid, I was like, no, we've done this before. This is nothing new. Maybe the content you're putting it into and the light, that some of the sexual suggestive things with it. Because I don't remember Pete's Dragon being all that sexual suggestive.
Yeah.
But what
are you talking about? That dragon was sexy.
What is that one? He's showing us frames off of this article, and I'm trying. The movies are all familiar, except for this one. I know what it's from, but I'm not sure. It's Lily Tomlin. She looks like Snow White, and she's got birds flying off of her right now.
It's called.
Oh, is that 9 to 5?
It looks like it's called 1980.
1980. That's 9
no,
to 5.
It's 9 to 5. Sorry.
Yeah, that's another one I watched as a kid and shouldn't have.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sexual stuff.
Twilight Zone, the movies mentioned on this.
Oh, yeah. Twilight Zone, the movie was hilarious. I watched that one as a kid, too. There was a lot of death stuff in that one.
Cool World.
I never watched Cool World. I never watched Cool World.
So,
Cool World was bizarre.
It really was weird. But basically, I just wanted to jog your memory a little bit because I think what we ought to do for this week's poll is ask our lovely listener what was their favorite movie that mixed live action and 2D animation. And it's interesting now because now we're mixing CGI animation into
everything,
trying to seamlessly mix it into, and almost make it unnoticeable. The whole point of these movies is that you notice it. It's obviously animation. They wanted it to be.
They wanted it to be that. Yeah.
So I'm gonna pose that question. So Matt, what would be if you were gonna pick one? What would be your favorite live action and 2D movie?
Live action and 2D movie. Man, there was some good ones in there. Oh God, I know what you're gonna pick.
Oh, don't forget Looney Tunes back in action.
Yeah, Looney Tunes.
Brendan Fraser.
That actually wasn't a bad movie.
I'm trying to think. I really want to pick something that I would say.
You get first choice.
I know. It's really
He's
hard.
struggling with this.
I'm
Yeah.
about to jump you in line, dude.
Go ahead. Let me think a minute because I've
Who
got.
Framed
there's-
Roger Rabbit?
That's
All
what
right.
you want. Okay.
Yeah, that's my go-to
Not
right
even in my
there.
possibilities.
It's a movie that still holds up to this day. It's funny, and it's the only time that Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse have ever shared a screen with each other. So, if for no other reason, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I like that. That's a good one. The Dip. You got to remember the Dip. Christopher Lloyd in that one.
It was a good
He was
movie.
a
Bob
scary-
Hoskins,
I'm not going
scary
to
dude.
deny that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Jessica
Jessica
Rabbit
Rabbit.
introduced a whole generation of kids.
Yeah, she did.
You mean
It's like she's a cartoon, but she's doing something funny to me.
I think she has added to the cosplay nature of life now.
Oh, yes, she has. Yeah, as somebody who's been to Dragon Con and seen a handful of Jessica Rabbits, I'm A-okay with
I'm
that.
almost betting that's a drinking game now. It's like, how many Jessica Rabbits do you think we're going to see?
No, if you just said Harley Quinns, that would have
Oh,
been
that's true. I forgot that's
a
the
Dragon
new.
Con drinking
That's
game.
the new.
Who am I kidding? Dragon Con is nothing but a drinking game.
Oh, that's true.
While you're thinking, Matt, I was just thinking back to Wayne's World when Garth says, "Do you remember when Bugs Bunny used to dress up like a girl, play a girl bunny?" And
Made me feel all kind of funny inside.
and I was thinking that's what I was thinking watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I feel like there's one right there on the edge of my memory that I have forgotten that is really good, but I really like Mr. Limpet.
Mr. Limpet's a good one.
I really like
mean,
Mr. Limpet.
You know, I'm not gonna
All those Don Knotts movies.
Don Knotts.
If we were doing a Don Knotts poll, The Ghost of Mr. Chicken is my favorite. But because it has to have animation in it, The Ghost of Mr. Limpet is probably my favorite.
The Incredible, not the Ghost of.
Sorry.
The Incredible
Ghost of God.
Mr.
Do
Limpet.
you hear me just take that title? Yeah, The Incredible Mr. Limpet. I liked it because there was, I don't know. I liked the story. I liked the,
World War II comedy.
yeah.
He
yeah.
turns into a fish.
He was our spy. He could tell where the subs were. And he had that noise he made, that whatever it was. I never liked Bad
I'm
Mouths
sorry,
and
what?
Broomsticks. I don't know what it was. He was like, it was like a megaphone underwater, and you can imagine what that sound would be. I will say this, and I feel like some of these are kind of cheap outs because 9 to 5 is not an animation pulled movie. Though they did a couple things in
It's
it.
just it
It had it in it.
is
Yeah,
that
just having a scene, I agree with you. I wouldn't put 9 to 5 in the same breath as Roger Rabbit or Space Jam.
Yeah, and then the other one that they threw on this article is
we're talking about Last Action Hero because that's
Last
it's
Action
not a
Hero
big
one.
thing.
No, it's not a big thing, but they were more interactive, where it wasn't so much just something in there. But definitely, Song of the South, man. That was Three Caballeros was okay, but I feel like it was kind of. I did like it though.
Man, we've brought up Song of the South a lot on this podcast.
Yeah, we have. I know what that one's from. I remember that being on. It was on some weird movie.
This is from 1914. I guess it was one of maybe the first time that they ever tried to do something like this. It's called Gertie the Dinosaur, and Winsor McKay, a cartoonist and animator, made the pioneering Gertie the Dinosaur, which combined live action with animation. The thing about this is there's a reference to Gertie the Dinosaur at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Is there really?
Yep, there's they've got like a pond kind of in the middle of the place. I guess they probably wouldn't call it a pond. That's a lake. And a little ice cream shop kind of thing, and there's a Gertie the Dinosaur coming out of the water.
So do you think that?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So they're kind of homage to the pioneering of animation. That's cool.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So
Points for Disney.
Disney does cool stuff like that.
they're
But
all
the
right.
other one that I don't want to,
Which one is it? Have I skipped past it?
Yeah, I keep thinking of it, and then it keeps going away. The Twilight Zone
Oh,
thing.
yeah,
It was
Twilight
a
Zone.
short thing. It was barely in there. They did kill her, but a live person gets killed by cartoons. God, that was such a good movie. If you guys have never seen what year is it? 80.
This came out in 83.
83, one of those magic years. 1983's Twilight Zone movie. It is bizarre, but I highly recommend it. So oh God, I'd forgotten all about SpongeBob.
Yeah, the newest SpongeBob SquarePants movie in 2004.
But that was so little with the Hoff. That was so.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, this one that they're referencing was the the one with David Hasselhoff.
They wrote
in 2004
Hasselhoff back. Yeah.
There was another SpongeBob movie that came out.
It
and
was CGI.
You're right. That was CGI.
It was just CGI.
Okay, that's why they're not counting that.
So
one.
what else
Okay.
they got in the? Is that it?
That's it. That's the last one.
Okay.
So,
But no, I'm going to stay with Mr. Limpet.
okay, Mr. Limp, it's yours. I'm going with Space Jam.
I knew it. I knew it.
You
was
knew I was
Really?
going with Space Jam? Yes, because
You love
Come
Space
on.
Jam. You have mentioned Space Jam more times than I can count on this podcast.
Space Jam is first of all, you got Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player of all time,
I won't deny that.
and in a
Tragic-
doing a
tragic life
fine
story.
job. Yeah, well,
And greatest meme. Do you know there are kids who only know him as the crying meme?
is that
They
true?
have no idea who he is. I saw an article. I'll try to find it if I can. But they did a poll on kids and like, oh, that's the crying meme.
Oh yeah,
That's the only thing they know him as.
That saddens me.
It
but
does.
anyway, doing a fine job. He's not an actor by trade,
No.
but he did a fine
No, he's
job.
not.
He's a charismatic dude, and he did fine. You know, better than Shaq in Shazam, Kazam,
Kazam.
You mean the Sinbad movie?
the Sinbad movie.
It's not
Yeah.
Berenstain.
Another thing that we might forget is that Bill Murray is in this movie.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Does
As
a
Bill
pretty good
Murray,
Murray.
as he
Yep.
plays nothing else.
Does a great job. And of course, you've got your Warner Brothers characters. I mean, you've
You
got
do.
a team made up of freaking Bugs Bunny and
I have used,
Daffy and
I have used, and I have heard people use the term Monstars for a lot of
Yeah.
funny things.
the Monstars.
And sticking with the cast, you had Wayne Knight, who was Newman at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Funny
That's
guy.
right.
And on the Warner Brothers, kind of echoing another sentiment from mine, Lola Bunny they introduced, and that made a whole generation of furries right there.
That's true. Yeah,
Bunny boobies.
Bugs Bunny didn't put on a dress in this one. They just brought in a
So-
lady bunny.
She is the influence to furries as Jessica Rabbit is to cosplay, and
Yep.
Harley Quinn.
Her and Gadget from Rescue Rangers. I would
Oh,
say
yeah.
those two are
You know, I'd play patty cake with any of those girls.
Terrible. I want to say we mentioned DuckTales, and I swear to you, there's a part of my memory that Scrooge McDuck either interacted, maybe it was in Roger Rabbit somewhere, but I almost feel like he was interacting with a live person at some point. Maybe it was one of their shows, a random episode. I don't know, but I feel like that happened.
Maybe.
Or Animaniacs brought it out, or something
But
happened.
this is just movie specific.
Right.
They didn't.
That's what's on the edge of my memory, and I'm like, man, I feel like there's something I'm missing. You guys, definitely our listeners need to jump out there with some suggestions of things that weren't in this article or forgotten otherwise.
Right. Well, that's exactly what we want to do. So we're going to put the poll out there.
Correct.
And this will be a no pants poll because people like to do those. I think it's maybe a little easier. Maybe people didn't want to go out there on a limb and throw out a high and low and let us have a chance to ridicule them.
We don't ridicule anybody.
No, come
Not on Twitter.
It's all positive.
We
It's
always
all
do
good.
it on the privacy of our own.
exactly. You should see our DMs.
But-
we
Oh
say
my God.
terrible things about you.
But we will put the poll out there this week and let you voice your opinion of which of the three that we threw out was your favorite live action and 2D mixed movie. If you vote in the poll, you retweet, and you're a follower, you will have a chance to win a free best price ever digital comic. Which this week I'll give away. Are you doing Secret Empire this week, Landon, or did you?
Yeah, I have a Secret Empire 6 code I can give out.
Okay, so this week we'll do that. Next week, I will give away Generations #1. So if you retweet this week and you get involved, you're a follower, and you vote, you could have a chance to win the Totally Awesome Hulk and Banner Hulk crossover.
Surfer Hulk.
So for this week, though, let us go revisit our no shirt shout out. We got a few of those,
We did.
and I want to give an appropriate shout out to the people who did interact with us.
That's right. We didn't get crickets on this one, but
Not total crickets. It wasn't like a vacuum.
no, it wasn't like the votes we received.
But David Krebs, he made his voice heard. He said Marty Sklar's death was a low Definitely.
Yeah.
You know,
That was a bummer. Still very fresh in the pop culture mind right now, too.
that's right. Andrew sound off, and he said highlights. These are highlights. Number 1 was getting into comics. Number 2 was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Okay.
3 was Wonder Woman. And his low was not having a chance to play Xbox as much as he would like to, I guess.
I share that low.
Seriously, yeah. Being an adult sucks.
Blows.
So they were the only 2 that actually
Did what was asked of them.
responded. So this is a 50-50 shot this week. So really good chance. We did get it. We got 4 retweets. Sam B and Tobe Samaji. I don't know how you say your name, buddy.
You want me to butcher it?
But you all retweeted, but you did not give us an opinion. And I said you had to do all 3.
You did.
That's
the rules.
It says it in the tweet.
I'm sorry, but those are the rules, and we have to follow the rules.
Yeah, reply, retweet, and follow. So, all right, we need a coin. Do I have a coin nearby?
No, but Google will flip a coin for you.
Okay. Oh, how about this? Let's
get Bixby.
Bixby can do this, and she's been trying to get involved the whole episode. Hey, Bixby.
Flip a coin. Let's see if it does it. It came up tails.
So it worked. Okay. All right. So
All right.
that works. All right. So let's try to do this. I want to hear Bixby.
I turned my volume off.
Oh, there she is.
It says
Oh my God, Bixby.
mine is operating to yours.
You can go to Q&A by saying open Q&A.
Oh my God, Bixby, calm down.
I'm so glad you're talking to me. I'm so glad I'm not silent anymore. Hello.
All right. So we're gonna say David Krebs is heads, and Andrew can be tails.
Okay.
So, hey, Bixby, flip a coin.
Let's check first, then tap or say
No.
Just say flip a coin's all you got to do.
Flip a coin. Oh, hold on. I got. Okay, here we go. This is gonna work this time.
Technology
There is a
so
lot
great.
of editing about to happen.
Please leave every second of this in. This is great.
Flip a coin. She's not listening to me. Bixby.
You didn't talk to her enough. You shut her up. That's what you get.
Hey, Bixby. Hey, Bixby. Come on. Flip a coin. I didn't say 2 coin, you idiot. I said flip.
Do you want me to use mine?
Nope.
Oh my God.
I talked to my Bixby. I know you're abusive in
I
your
swear.
relationship with yours.
Oh, it started to create a tweet for me that said
I can't breathe.
the tweet says, so we're gonna say a David Krebs heads and Andrew can.
That's awesome. It'll tweet for you, though.
I didn't tell you to tweet, Bixby.
Hey, Bixby.
Hey, Bixby.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Okay, here we go. This is gonna work.
No, it's not.
Flip a coin.
All right. It came up heads.
Thank God.
Well, that was kind of anticlimactic.
Great. I'm gonna give her points for that. Good job, Bixby.
You know you can turn those points in.
You did it. I know.
You get a free TV
I'm working
after
on it.
40,000.
I'm working on it.
What are you at? 200? Because you obviously never talked to her.
Well,
I made mine a man. I think it's a man at least.
in just 7 days, I can make you a man.
Oh my!
All right, David Gretz. All right.
David Gretzky, everybody.
David Gretzky.
What is going on?
I've lost it. Bixby,
His fight with Bixby has really tore him
Bixby
down.
really threw me off now. David Krebs, congratulations. You are the winner of a free digital comic. Secret
Yeah,
Empire.
congrats, David.
Oh, Lord. Are we still recording?
Yep,
I hope so. God, I hope so.
you're the master of that,
If you want to be like David Krebs,
and not like Bixby.
don't be a Bixby.
Yeah, don't be a Bixby.
You can vote in our poll this week, retweet, and be a follower, and you'll have a chance to win a comic. And hopefully there'll be more than 2 people, and I won't have to deal with Bixby.
You can make
Yes,
a roll
well-
dice too.
At least 3 people need to vote, so you don't have to use Bixby anymore. Do it for Jay, everybody, and for yourself, because we're trying to give you
Curse you, Bixby. It's my mortal enemy now. She. By the way, all throughout the day, she comes on when I don't want her to.
It's funny because it doesn't matter which one of our voices are talking. It'll
Yeah.
just start dictating. It's like, I'm just going to write everything you said. I mean, there was a full out paragraph on mine before I realized that between me and Justin here, I had to turn it. I was like, what are you doing? Stop it.
It's like, oh God, Bixby's got a narc on us.
Oh, it's always listening. Always judging.
Yep.
All right. That's it. I can't do anything else. I'm out.
We're
Yeah,
done.
I don't think we can top your fight with Bixby.
Well, if you'd like to tell us about your fight with that AI, you can tweet at us at nerd_news_cafe. You can hit us up on the Facebook, Nerd News Cafe. You can hit us up on the email, which is nerdnewscafe@gmail.com. You can also find all these lovely links and more at our website, which is nerdnewscafe.com. Don't forget, I've released a Star Trek podcast. If you're remotely interested in it, it's going to be following Discovery, which is Tracking Trek podcast. So if you want to jump on that, and Landon has his podcast, which I'll let him take over for that.
Yes, congrats on the new podcast, Matt. My podcast with Hunter East, Game of Thrones Talk, or Got Talk, drops every Thursday at buttmunchchips.com. Buttmunchchips, sit on your butt and munch. Also, follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Landoz, LANDOZ. That's where you can find the latest on when episodes drop, as well as my random musings throughout the week. Jay, you got anything?
No, nothing.
All right, so for the nothing Justin Krutzinger and the something Matt Weaver, I am Landon Doan, thanking you for joining us on another edition of Nerd News Cafe. Stir it up. We've been Nerd News. You've been great. Good night. And
Landon.
you, Bixby.
Landon.